Hello, hello, everyone. Of course, your favorite realtor here. Just want to go ahead and go over monthly stats. I know I've been doing this all year. I know for some of you, it actually is getting a little bit much, a little bit monotonous. But I just want to, of course, continue to just do my job and giving everybody information, the latest, the greatest. The market actually is just kind of shifting here in just a little bit. I'm going to share with you some tweaks in somewhat of a positive direction. So hopefully you all had a amazing Thanksgiving. And let's jump right into it. Let's make this as quick and brief as we possibly can. For the month of November, one thing I want you to pay attention to is you'll notice the days on market. Yeah, it's still continuing to go up. It's not going up as crazy as I was anticipating, but it's still in a sense going up. Same thing with the month supply. It actually went down this last month. Again, remember, this tells us whether it's a seller's market, buyer's market, or a normal market. We're still technically in a seller's market. And why is that? It's because of this number. Okay, there are not as many sellers coming on the market, or a backlog of listings, if you want to call it that are staying on the market. Basically, the amount of listings are kind of staying consistent as to with what's going on with the market. The irony of it, I was expecting the market to kind of further to slow down. So this is probably the one time in a handful of videos where I've been off just a smidge. I did say that the market's going to stay a little bit flat. It might dip down just a little bit. And that's kind of still the case. But the fact that we did actually go up on our average sales price is it's a little bit eye-opening. What am I saying in regards to with all of this mumbo jumbo? Basically, the market is staying flat. That is something that I did talk about going into this year. However, there is an anticipation of the market is going to make somewhat of a little bit of a rebound. And what I mean by that is that the interest rates did not stay as as somewhat expected for them to stay a little bit higher. They've actually come down. Since the last video, we've gone down by about 1%. We're now back in the sevens. I think even seven and a quarter, low sevens, depending on, I haven't spoken with a lender here in a couple of days, but 7.1, 7.2, and compared to what it was, 8.2, 8.3% interest rate. I know it's still a little bit on the higher side, but the interest rates are actually going to start to come back a little bit in terms of on the downward direction, maybe even the 6.5, low sixes. This is the part where I kind of mentioned in my last video. My only concern with that is the competition. Okay, so there is an anticipation of the first quarter. It's going to be a little bit, I don't want to say frenzy because I think that's going to be a little bit much, but there is talks about the buyers coming back around, which is not what we wanted because now that's going to put you in a competitive state. So what am I getting at even further in regards to this? Buyers right now is the time you got to act on this. The interest rates dropped down, trickled down just about 1%, maybe even 1.25%. Pricing is still holding somewhat steady. For sellers, again, same thing. They're still staying a little bit steady. As I've said before, I'm never going to kind of paint this picture like as if though, it's always a great time to buy. It's always a great time to sell. But it is just kind of in that little bit of teetering and back and forth, whether it's good for both the seller because it's the peak of the market and then the buyers because there's less competition. So it's kind of a little bit of a unique type of a situation. Sellers are not getting, in a sense, full price. This number here, 99.9%, tells us, what percentage are sellers getting, but it's pretty close. Okay, so it's pretty close. So in other words, if you're a seller, you're thinking about possibly selling, you're probably going to want to take advantage of that here in the next 30, 60, 90 days. And if you're a buyer, you might want to be a little bit careful with the frenzy that again, I don't want to use the word frenzy, but a little bit of the uptick. Let's use the word uptick in the market. So if you're kind of on the fence, you're waiting for the income taxes, which almost always ends up being the case with buyers in terms of that first quarter where it starts off a little bit more aggressive. You might want to start doing this now. And I'm talking about like literally today, tomorrow, the next week or two, because when we start getting towards the tail end of January, February, we are expecting the market to go back up just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to do the next video where, I'm going to do a yearly recap from January 1st of 2023 to January 1st of 2024. So I'll be doing that in the next video. But of course, as always, I'm going to encourage you to please, 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 as you know, I am on TikTok. I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook. I am also on YouTube. So please like, share, subscribe, and share with all of your friends. I will see you all soon. And wishing you a Merry Christmas because the next video I'll be doing will be after the new year. So I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.